Okay, so my book is called See Us Bloom, and it is a book of poems, but it is also a narrative story. So it follows a story of this boy named Pada and his family, and they move to a new place. And so the story follows him going to his new school for the first time, meeting friends for the first time. And so you can kind of see that through the illustrations. The illustrations really tell this linear story, but each page is focused with a poetry. And so I will read the book with you guys to you, and I can take some questions afterwards. The first poem is called We Can Make Our Own Paths. There are times you need to go down a new road, a road you haven't been on before. Which way do you go? Left, maybe right? You will know what to do. Be still and listen. You will find your way. We can try new things. It may be scary to do something for the first time. That's okay. Don't let this stop you. You can feel scared and be brave at the same time. I can show you the illustrations too. So the illustrations here show the boy and his family, they're moving. You can see the expression on his face. He's a little bit worried, maybe even excited. This one is called We Belong Here. Your golden skin shimmers, the deep midnight of your eyes shines. You were born after many people who look like you. They are looking at you now in awe of how wonderful you are. You are beautifully made. So if you have this book or you would like it, you can kind of see that the illustrations show his where he's from. And so in the story, Pada is Korean, Jewish, and American. And so this poem is to really illustrate embracing all that we are. We can become friends with change. New home, new school, new language. It's okay to feel sad, worried, scared, maybe even curious or a little excited. New things often look like big things before they become small. Starting over can be hard. So when you say, I'll try again, you are really saying, I believe in myself. Little by little, day by day, it will become easier. Keep going, keep trying, and soon change will be your friend. So here, Pada is going into his classroom for the first time. Now, kids and adults, I'm going to ask you a question. Can you give me a thumbs up if you've ever had to do something new for the first time? I have. And it can be scary, right? Yes. This one is called We Are Brave When We Say No. I want to explain this one a little bit. So, Pada he's in his classroom now, and Pada has two names. His name is Liam and Pada, and he wants to be called by his Korean name. So that's why the words say, no, please call me Pada. Does anyone else have two names? Anyone else? Yeah, some of us do. We may go by one name at home sometimes, one at school. This poem is called We Are Brave When We Say No, and it's really about standing up for what you believe in. And if someone is making you feel badly or not good, that you can be brave and use your voice to speak up. We are brave when we say no. It's not easy to speak up for what is true for you. When you feel uncomfortable or upset, you are allowed to say no. Even when your voice shakes, even when you're nervous, you can say it. With practice, it will become easier. Speak up. No can be a good word, a big, brave word. Can you guess where he is now at school? What do we think? I hear it. You can say it louder. Lunchroom? Yes, he's in the lunchroom. We can show our light. Do not hide the things that bring you joy. Eat what you love. Dress how you want. Speak in languages that feel like home. Do what lights you up, because what makes you happy will light up the world. Does anyone speak more than one language here? So in this poem, all the kids are eating different kinds of food. And sometimes we may eat something at home that we may be afraid to bring to school because we're not sure if our friends will make fun of us or will accept us. So this one is really about accepting each other and embracing what you love to eat. Out in the playground. We can be a good friend. So this one is about friendship. And sometimes when our friend is feeling sad, we don't know what to do, right? They're crying or they look really upset and we want to make them feel better, but we just don't know how to. And that's what this poem is about. We can be a good friend. When your friend is sad, you may not know what to say, and that's okay. Sitting side by side, offering a hug, or holding their hand says more than 1,000 words can say. Just being there, it's its own kind of magic. How does it feel when a friend just sits next to you when you're feeling bad? It feels good, right? We can ask for help. I think even as adults, it's really hard to ask for help. So even if you're a grown-up, it doesn't mean that we know everything, right? We all need help. Can you give me a thumbs up if you've ever had to ask for help? Oh, I see double thumbs from some people. Yes. And a little wave if you've ever helped someone. Yes. Yeah. We can all use help, right? We can ask for help. You are strong when you say, I need help. Ask for help when you need it. Offer help when a friend needs it. When we help each other, we grow together. So sometimes we think asking for help shows that we're weak, right? That we're not strong. But it's actually a really brave thing to do. Now Pada is going home from his first day at his new school. I think he's had a pretty good day. We can slow down. Breathe, sit still for a moment. Listen. Do you notice the little things around you? The aroma of your favorite food filling the room. A cool breeze that kisses your cheeks. Your baby brother's soft snoring as he sleeps. What do you notice when you slow down? Breathe. Who's ever taken a big breath? We can do that right now. Inhale in and exhale. Doesn't that feel good? Just taking a deep breath? Yeah. So that poem talks about just how important it is to slow down sometimes. We don't always have to be doing things, right? We are growing every day. Just like a seedling that seeks out the sun, we search for the warmth of loved ones to make us feel safe. Like thirsty roots that search for water, we wish for the sweet taste of encouraging words to remind us we are doing our best. And like a tree that reaches upwards to spread its branches, we look for space to let our feelings be. Without hurry, at our own pace, we are growing. Who's ever planted something before? Like a plant or flowers, you water them. Yeah, many hands I see. Now, if you planted, let's say, 10 tomato plants, do you think they'll all grow at the same time? What do we think? You think they'll all grow at the same time? No, they don't. Even if they get the same water, same sun, same care, they all grow at different times, right? So that one is about how all of us grow at different times. So we may learn reading a little differently than our friends, or math may be a little bit hard for us, and that may take a little bit of time, but you are still growing no matter what. And I think that is all. This is the very last page. And I think friends have come to see Pada now. See us bloom. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyunghee. So we're going to start our Q&A. So I want to see your hands raised if we have any questions for Kyunghee.
Hi, Kyunghee.
Hi, Anne.
That was a great reading. So can you tell us a little bit about the illustrator, the person who made the pictures, and in particular, like some of the pictures, like the lunchroom scene, seems to really reflect what you were thinking. Did you have a chance to talk to her and tell her what you thought the picture should look like, or did she just read the poem and make it up on her own?
Oh my gosh, thank you for that thoughtful question. So Emily Paik is the illustrator of this book, and she lives in South Korea. I have not met her. We saw each other through Zoom, and I exchanged. I gave her the poems that were revised, and as an illustrator, she did couple of rounds of sketches of what the picture should be about, and most of her time actually was spent on the main character. So that was even his facial expression, how his hair should be, all of that took a really long time. And when you ask about scenes like the lunchroom scene and the playground scene, that was very collaborative. So she kind of asked, oh, in this lunchroom scene, are there certain elements you would like to see? Or are there certain kinds of food that you want to see? And on some pages, I did have some opinions, but many of them I didn't. And so she just really took it upon herself after I kind of told her my own story of why I wanted to write this book. And then it was a lot of back and forth between revisions, but I felt like she really brought my words to life. Yeah, beautiful.
All right, anybody else?
Why did you want to write the book?
Thank you for that question, Winnie. I wrote this book because it's a book that I kind of wish I was able to read when I was younger. And so you know how in the beginning I talked about it's about a family moving, right? And so I moved here from Korea when I was 8 years old, like this character in this book. And I kind of thought about how it was really hard when I came here with my family, and it was very difficult for me to make friends. I wanted to eat Korean food at lunch, but I didn't because people would make fun of me, a lot of little things. And so over the years, I just kind of thought about that story a little bit more. And also as a teacher, it's a message that I wanted to send to kids of all ages, you know, to really love who you are and to accept other people the same. Thank you for that question.
All right, who's next in the back? We got live streamers.
Congratulations for writing a great book.
Thank you so much.
I wondered what drew you to use poetry instead of a narrative for telling the story.
Yes. I read poetry a lot. I find poetry to be like meditation, and it's very magical in a way where you can just kind of turn to any page and read one page, and you don't necessarily have to read the entire book. And so I wrote adult poetry for a while. And so with this book, I was hesitant because I know poetry is not a popular genre in children's books, but I want it to be. You know, I want kids to read poems, and so that's what kind of drew me to it.
Kind of going off that, we got a question before the event that
Sure.
asks, how did you become inspired by poetry and what motivates you to be a writer?
Ooh. What was the first question about inspiration?
Yes, so let me double check. How did you become inspired to write poetry?
It really happened on accident. So, you know, all of you out there, nothing is a mistake, you know? And so sometimes we do things, we discover things on accident, and it can be something really good and very powerful and cool. And so I was just writing in my journal randomly, not in sentences, but in phrases and words, and all of that kind of became poetry. And it was through a difficult time in my life that I wrote about, and that drew me to read poetry as well. So that's how I got into it.
And then the second part is what motivates you to be a writer.
Oh. I can't really think of another avenue than words that can really bring empathy and connection. And so whether it be a story that resonates with you 100% because you're just like that character, or it could even be a window into somebody else's life that you had no idea. I think we can just gain so much knowledge through reading. So that's why.
Thank you. All right, who else has questions?
Congratulations on the book.
Thank you,
are an
Nu.
inspiration. We really appreciate the universal themes of acceptance and being seen and valued. As an educator and writer, what words of wisdom and parental advice do you have to really help students and kids to feel accepted and to advocate for themselves as your main character does.
I think as, you know, teachers and parents and adults who are around children, I think it's really important to be completely present and use what is happening in that present moment to inspire, elevate, teach that child. So, for instance, if a child had a hard day and they're crying, that's a moment to connect before trying to correct. We always want to correct emotions, right? Because our hearts hurt. We don't want to see them get hurt. But the connection has to come first, right? Because that's how kids open up. And so even by asking, oh, what happened today? Like just that language alone is powerful instead of saying what's wrong. Because when we say what's wrong, we're just assuming that what they're feeling is wrong. But when we ask what happened, that really opens doors for that child to then share with you what maybe happened during that day. And then they may open up talking to you about it. And then advice can come from you after that. But having that safe space for them to open up, I think it's key. And I know we hear that language all the time, safe space. But it's really the key, right? A space where child feels comfortable enough to share whatever they want to share, feel however they want to feel, ask questions and not be embarrassed by it. And also, friendships are important in helping them really, develop strong, solid friendships with their peers. Thank you.
All right, any more? All right, so we're going to move on to the book signing then. I'm going to move my stuff here, and then Kyunghee can come over here and sign some books for you guys. Literati is out there with some copies if you want to get one, and have Kyunghee sign it for you. And let me just say thank you again to Kyunghee on behalf of the library, and let's give her one more round of applause.